afternoon, everyone. I will just do the usual reminders for anyone that may be new. We're doing two sections, the first one for immediate use and the second one for 10:30 this evening. Thankfully no Zoom this year. Jeremy, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Hi Ralph, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
A new season, and the first question about team news. Is there anyone apart from Tino who's unavailable for Tottenham this weekend?
Theo Walcott hasn't had pre-season so far, so he's not back in training so far, and Nathan Teller was also out with injury for longer. So he was training today the first time, so he would be also not available for the weekend.
So how excited are you about the new season with 6 new signings? You've changed the backroom team as well. Are you bullish about the new season?
Yeah, we're always looking forward to Premier League seasons, and we know how excited it is that it starts again, and that we are part of, and sure, we are excited.
None of your new signings, though, have played in the Premier League. Is that a risky rebuild?
The risk, I mean, we know the kind of players we get. They have, if you want, a lot of fantasy. They can help us immediately, or some take a little bit longer. We have seen this in the past, that some players need a year to adapt to the Premier League. Some are so good that it goes quicker. So we will not see all the new players immediately from the start. They are young, they have to learn, and but one or the other will get a chance to play immediately.
Is Gavin Bazunu at 20 ready to be your starting Premier League goalkeeper?
He's a good one, but I have still not made the decision, and you will see it on Saturday.
It would be a big call, wouldn't it? He's obviously very promising, but still so young.
Yeah, this is the fact. But as you know our history, we are keen to give young players a chance to make their first steps in the Premier League, and this is what we did the last years. And you know what you have to expect from them: a lot of talent, a lot of effort, and in some moments maybe some mistakes, but they have to learn from and getting better. That costs you maybe sometimes a little bit of total performance, if you want. But for us, we were keen to do this in the past, and we will do it in the future also.
A number of Premier League clubs would seem to like to get hold of Carl Walker-Peters. What would you say to any club who was interested in signing Carl Walker-Peters right now?
Before we go now through every player who is maybe having an interest from somebody else or whatever, I think we should concentrate on the games that are coming up now. I know that the transfer window is still open for a long time, and this is something that will definitely affect your questions in the future, but for me it's more important to bring the players in the shape that they can compete in the Premier League, and this is the focus I have.
And the next game is Spurs. You were sensational there in February. What great memories you must have of that night, and can you do it again this weekend?
It was a great game, for sure. One of our best last season, but there's nothing older than the success from yesterday. So you have to show again that you are able to compete, and we had a perfect game there, and we will have to have a nearly perfect to get something there.
Just one last one. The Premier League have changed the protocol about taking the knee before every Premier League game. What have the players said about that, and what do you think?
I think the message was that there's a phone call for somebody. It's not only that you. Should I go? Should I pick it up? That's right. Rude. Okay. She'll have to wake. Baby also. Okay. So. No, I think it is a okay decision, because as always, everything that you get used to, it doesn't have the same impact that new things, and we will think about new things that we get remembered about what this is for, and so it's understandable that they want to change something.
Ralph, we know there's always been and is a lot of talent in the squad, but when that game at Spurs last season, the way you fought back, you had to show so much spirit, and knowing there is that spirit there in the group, how much of a bonus is it knowing it's there, and it just sort of needs to be harnessed or show itself more often, rather than presumably that's the sort of thing that you're always looking to find?
Yeah, and spirit you can create with good atmosphere indoor, but also with good results, and this helps massively. I mean, we are all Premier League clubs not exactly knowing where we are in the moment, and so the first games are coming now up, and then you have to show how good you are and how far you are in your development of your quality. And for quality, you need a good game plan, but as you said, also spirit and readiness in the right moment, and therefore we have to do everything. I think this is the last 5 weeks. Every club is preparing for this first moment, and now we will see how far we are.
And with the new players, and you say they're at various stages ready to make an impact, without sort of singling out one to put too much pressure on him, are you excited in the same way that you might have been at this stage last year about Tino being able to explode and get the fans off their seats already, or?
We have to be careful always to not give too much pressure on them. I mean, it was not a disadvantage for Tino last season to step immediately in and play the first game without big conversations about it before. Nobody expected him to play there, and this definitely helps you in the beginning, I think, to be a little bit under the radar and then showing up surprisingly. But Premier League is tough. We play against a top team, and we will have to look who is ready for this game. And when we think he is, then we take the, I don't want to say risk, but we take the advantage to give him the chance to play. But when we have shown something in the past, that we want to build them up carefully, and this flower that is growing, to take care of it, because it should grow for longer here in this club.
And on the opposite side to Tino, I suppose, is Romain Perraud ready? Is he okay to play?
Romain has had an injury at the end of last season and missed some parts of the pre-season now. I think nearly the half of the time he missed. But the last 2 weeks he was training, and so he's now coming closer to be an option. And that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Adam?
The thing I remember most about that win in February was how brilliant your midfield were, and the movement from the 10s to the 6s, and Spurs didn't know what to do with them. Now you spent the summer with your 3 at the back and changed things a little bit, lots of practice with 3 centre-halves. How much of that have you done because of your annoyance at the amount of goals you've conceded? Because it's always annoyed you for a couple of years now.
Yes. I mean, this is absolutely the key, that if you want to be more successful, then you have to concede less goals. I mean, this is not such a big secret. Everybody knows this. It's a low-scoring sport, and when you don't concede, you have a bigger chance for taking more points. And this is the reason why we are trying to get more and more stable. But as always, this is not one way to go. There are always more ways to be successful in the defense, and we tried it very often with a high pressing shape. It worked quite well for a long time, and then in some moments in the game, it was damaged because of a quality action from the opponent and hard to defend in any way. So there's no guarantee now when we play a different shape, if we play it, that we then concede less goals. But we have worked especially on some details. I must say that also the new coaches in my staff put a lot of effort in to make these guys better defending, and this is the way we go now, and this is the way we want to get better in developing our players that we have, and finally we will see how often we are able to have clean sheets, to concede less goals than last season.
You're about to start your 4th full season as Saints manager. You've kept them up for 4 with the half a season to start with, already out the last 10 they've been. But where are you now with your ambition, with your expectation compared to the other seasons? Are you more positive because you've been able to spend a bit of money in the market and so on, or the same? Is it still stay up first and everything else?
No, the respect from the league is for this league is such a high one from my side, that I am very careful with the expectations in my team always. what has never changed since I'm here is the effort we put it in after having a break, getting back the energy, recharging the batteries. When I see how much we have done in the preseason and how the players were working, then you have to say it was a very good preseason. We had some others also, and then what had a tough start because we are facing immediately very good opponents. Also last season we had a good start, I think, with a lot of draws. So didn't win for a long time, but you could feel that there is something growing, and this was okay. And we know how tough it is. But I think the good thing when you are that long in the league is that you know a lot about it, and you know a lot about opponents, about the positions, and about the quality. And it makes you settled in the end, but without losing the illusion that every year more is possible for us.
Are you glad you've got a run of games without an international break after a couple of weeks? Is it quite nice for you to be able to plan for these 6 weeks?
Yeah, I think especially the first international break was absolutely something that no manager was happy about. So this is definitely, I think, something that can be useful for getting in better rhythm, and we are full of energy, so this is okay.
Just finally, you've openly talked about looking for another striker. So I was thinking, why don't you just give Timo Werner a ring, who Chelsea don't seem to want him? You could bring him on loan for the season. Let's get some quality in, and you could get the best out of him again, like you did before.
Yeah, nice try. But as I said before, I'm here not today to speak about this or that player. We know that there are some good players out there, and we have our eyes open. The transfer market is open for another 30 days nearly, or something like that.
Too many, yeah.
It's too many, definitely. But we have done our job so far. That doesn't mean that you don't want to do on other positions something again. But it's now the moment to concentrate on the games, and this is for me more important.
Nick?
Ralph, what do you make of Antonio Conte and what he's doing with Spurs and how he's bringing them on? Obviously, he's sort of won things wherever he's gone. Do you think he's taking Tottenham in the right direction? Are they more of a challenge now than they would have been previously?
I think so. It was impressive that they had last season managed to come in the Champions League. I mean, it didn't look for a long time that they can do it, but then with a impressive run of wins, they managed to come back and to make this step even higher. I think it was our performance against them to rate, to be honest, because they have been in good mode when they played against us, and we showed that we can be resilient and strong against them. But he does a fantastic job there, and had also an interesting transfer window so far. Spent a lot of money on the players he wanted, and this is a team that is normally with the squad able to grab for the highest trophies in the league. Would you rather the transfer window was shut before the season started, or is that just a fact of life now? No, I think. I'm not so sure about the effect on the prices when it's long that open. So some other clubs will also look for the first games, how strong they are or what weakness they have, and then the prices. I'm not sure if they're going down then or going up again. So the market is sometimes a little bit stupid and strange, but. For us, it was a good thing that we could do this season some things what we normally couldn't only do after we have sold a few players. This was the different this season, I must say, and that helps you definitely to get some players in what you wish you can get, and what also makes sense for us. I think I'm still have the opinion that 40-50 million transfers are not making no sense for us. But quality to get, and if it's young, okay, no problem, take it. And this is the way we want to go. And this is good that we have done our job so far. But as I said, the transfer window is open that long. When we do it, then we have enough time to do it.
Okay, Lewis?
Hi, Ralph. The last few seasons, I think it's fair to say, they've been inconsistent. Great in some spells, poor form in others. As a coach, how hard is it to find that consistency when the recruitment is a lot of inexperienced players in this level?
It is not because of this very hard. It's because of the quality of the opponents very hard to have consistent in the Premier League, because that would mean that we are in some regions in the table where it is very, very tough to be there. I mean, there are teams that spend massive money in not only young talented players, in players they have shown that they are competing in the Premier League. And we could still manage to keep them very long behind us, but then you could see in the end of the season that also the quality is then also the decisive factor, if you want, and this was then the problem for us last season. Especially the longer the season goes, we feel always that in the end we are a little bit breaking down with our qualities and with our performances. But again, we are full of energy now. We are going again, and we want to keep it on the highest level as long as possible.
Will that impact the way that you set up your team? Because you're right, they tailed off in terms of energy towards the end of last season. Has that been part of your thinking, the change of shape?
No, I think it doesn't have to mean something physically. It's a little bit mentally also. In some moments, there can be 1-2 results. They are not going in your direction that can give you a little bit of a break, and then you it's hard to find it back in the track. This was the problem last season, I think, in the end. But we had also some moments where we played unbelievable football, where we had unbelievable results against former champions or actually champions in the Premier League. So this is also something we can count for us and we can take in this season.
Just one more. You changed your backroom setup, the coaching setup was completely changed. What are you looking for from the new team that you weren't getting last season from the previous guy?
I've said it a few times that doesn't mean that I haven't got what I wanted to get last season or the seasons before, because what we have done was an unbelievable job in the last 4 years here. So, but what I wanted to give the players was a new voice on the pitch and something new, some new inputs, some new methods that they get again, interested in what we are doing here, because when you are that long in the club, you have to re-find yourself all the time, because there's nothing more boring than here every 365 days the same. I mean, what I have learned, I've never worked that long in a club, is that you have to find new things all the time, to get new things all the time, and this is what they deserve to get, my players or our players, and this is what we have done with the new coaches, and I'm very happy that they're here.
Okay, we'll move on to the second section, embargo for 10:30 this evening. Jacob, we'll start with you.
Hi Ralph, when you went on holiday at the end of last season, what was your overriding emotion?
Say it again, please.
When you went on holiday at the end of last season, what was your overriding emotion? What's the thing that you felt you needed to address when you came back?
Energy at first. I was really empty because it was a tough and long season, and some new ideas, what we can change, what we can do better. A very good analysis of the last season, always helpful. There is not a lot of time during the season to do this.